So for this method, you'll just make a loop, and then you'll just keep looping it, and then you just take this loop and you put the loop in your pocket and hope it doesn't tangle. Now for this method, it's a little bit better than the loop, so you'll just make a loop, and then basically it's just a loop, but will stay a little bit better because, so I've made the loop, and then you'll just leave a little bit extra and you'll squeeze the loop together, and then you're just gonna wrap some of the extra around, and it's real quick and simple, and that'll keep it from tangling less than the loop does. This method is more of a tip. If your headphones, a lot of headphones have this little thing on them, it's like a little slider. It might look a little bit different, but if you pull it all the way to the end, and if you attach right there at the end, then it will keep your headphones from tangling less because there's, or will keep them from tangling more because there's less cords moving around. So for this method, you'll want to start with the bigger end of your headphones. So you just take them and you'll just start making a loop. So here I am looping, and then after I'm done with the loop, you pull the loop off your hands and you squeeze it together, just like that. And you want to keep a hole on one end, because then you'll wrap it around. You just wrap it around a couple times, and then this little hole, you just stick the end right in the hole. This is similar to the figure eight, but it's using a loop, so I think it's a little bit easier. Another method is to use a bread tie. So here I have a lovely bread tie, and it's all you do is you wrap this around your hand. So I'm just gonna wrap it around, make some loops, and then, so I have it wrapped around my hand, and you just pull it off your hand. So here I have the loop, and you'll just squeeze this together like that, and then you take the bread tie and you will wrap it around just like this. Just twist it a couple times. You don't have to twist it a ton, it's gonna stay if you twist it just a couple times, and then you're good. The next method is to place them inside a bag. So say if you have like 15 million pairs of headphones and you just want to store them all somewhere with your other cords, these bags are really nice. So you'll just loop it around, just make a nice simple loop like that, and then you just pull it off your hand, and then there's a little circle. This might come undone a little bit, or you can do a different method to stick it in the bag for storage, and then you just throw that in there. Of course it doesn't look the best, but it will keep it from tangling with all of your other cords. And then you just close that up, and you might want to squeeze some air out before you close the bag, and then you're ready to throw it in with all your other cords. This method involves your hands. So basically you're just gonna make a figure eight. The first step is to grab the end of it with your 3 fingers, and then you will loop it around your index finger, just like that, to start off the figure eight, and then you'll make the figure eight around your thumb. So you just loop it around like that, and then back around your index finger, and then you just do this several times, looping it around like that. And now once you get to the end, is what you'll do is, see, I'm still holding this stuff like that, and then I just pinch the middle here. So you just pinch that like that, and then you wiggle these off your fingers. I have big hands, so this might be easier for you. And now it's looking like this. So is what I do then is I take this loose end and I just wrap it around the middle to keep the figure eight in place. Once I'm done wrapping it around the middle, is all I do is I take this end and I just stick it through a loop, and then your figure eight is done. For this method, I have a lovely applesauce container. This will work with smaller things though, like a cap from a soda bottle or something. So to start off, you'll just make 2 cuts on each side. So I'm cutting out a groove. So there's one groove right there, and then on the other side, make the other groove. Now these are where the headphones will go. So like the earbud part. So you put one of them in one side and you put the other one in the other side. And then is what you'll do now is you just wrap it around the edge. So let's see. So I like to go out this side. You could cut another groove in there for that if you wanted, but it's not necessary. So you just start the wrap and you wrap it around the outside like this. And then once you're done with it, you just put the end in the closest little groove here. So here's that headphone groove, and I put it in that headphone groove. Now, as you can see, the applesauce container is a little bit flimsy. So like I said, you could do this with like the cap to a gallon container of juice or something like that. Now, this method uses a credit card or a blank, like empty card. I will be showing you how to do it on this index card though. So you just, I guess if you are using an index card, you would fold it in half like this. And then you just take something and punch a hole in two sides of it. So I'm just punching a hole, and then this is where one of your cords will go, and then the other one will go in this other end. So super advanced here. This is looking beautiful. And then you just cut it right into the hole. So we're cutting there. Now, if you're using a card, you could just try only the cuts. So only the cuts, or I mean, you could get fancy and drill holes there. But unless you're lazy like me. So then you just take one end of this, and you, like the smaller end or the bigger end, I guess you could start with. And you just stick it in there, and then you wrap your headphones around this, covering up the end of your headphones that's on there. See, since I am using an index card, it is a little bit wobbly. You might be able to find something more sturdy though, because clearly this isn't the most long-term use. And then you just take the other end and put it in the other hole. So again, like a credit card would be a bit more sturdy, but this does work. This method uses a paper towel tube, or you could use a toilet paper tube also. So you'll just cut it to whatever size you want it to be that you'll wrap the headphones around. So you just cut it like that, and then you take this piece and you're going to cut a notch to put your headphones in. So you can take a lot of time to cut this if you want it to be just nice and perfect. You can make it square. I'm making mine triangle, but square might last a little bit longer. And then you'll want to make ones on the other side also for your other end to be put in, unless you just want to put it back in the same exact end as you started with. But I'll just show you this so that you guys can to help decide. So you'll just put it in there, nice and easy, super easy. It just goes in there like that, and then all you do now is you just wrap this around. So I have it in the notches like that. Then you just wrap it around the tube, just like this, and then after it's wrapped around, you put your end back in this other end. Now, if you did want to make only one end, that'd be fine. It's a little bit less cuts, and it might help those stay down a little bit more up there. Then you just would put that back in the same end as the top of your headphones, and that would work also. This method uses a water bottle. So you'll start by taking the cap off, and it needs to be empty, of course, and then you are going to cut the top off of this. Very beautiful, right? Now you take this and you will cut a groove. You're going to cut one groove in one side, another groove in the other side opposite, and then one, I'll just show you, one in the middle. So I'm cutting a groove, just a tiny little triangle there. Let's see, that's kind of hard to see, but it's just a little triangle. And I cut one on the other side also. Just a triangle. This is where your headphones will go, and then you cut one in the middle of both of those, and this is where the end of your headphones will go. And then is all you have left to do. I don't know if you can see those or not, probably not. You'll see them when I put the headphones in. So you put one headphone in one side, just like that, and you put the other headphone in the other side, just like that. And now you'll take, of course, don't drop them, and you'll put both of them through the other groove over there. So there's where all my grooves are. Of course, they're a little bit hard to see, but yeah. And then you wrap this around as such, and you can cut your water bottle different sizes, or you can play around with it to get the best fit. And then with the end, you just take the end and you put it in the hole to help it stay. And now you're good.